Yes. Oh, amazing. It's going into my personal meeting room. What does that mean? God.
I see live. So are we live on Facebook? I'll check.
Oh. Thanks, Sue. All right. I believe that we must be live. Let's just do a quick double check with the complications of technology. Yes, we are. We're going in. There we go. We're live. I'm with it. All right. Okay, we're live. We're live. We're live.
Okay.
Beautiful. Should we maybe just give it a couple of minutes for people to come in?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can tag, let's tag a couple of people to bring them into it. I'll tag Christine. Should I tag June?
Oh, good. I'll comment as well to up the algorithm.
Cool. Very much soon. All right. Good evening, everybody. How are you all this evening? I'm super excited to have Christine in this evening for our Wednesday Feminine Divinity School. This is a school that where I come in and share a lesson with you every Wednesday evening at 8:30. We have a variety of different topics each week. Usually connected to the theme of the week. So on Monday, you'll see that I post in a mantra for the week, and that's usually connected to the theme. And this week we've been looking at calming the nervous system, especially around the lunar eclipse. Lots of people have been feeling heightened energies. And so I'm super happy for Christine to come and join us this evening. I will let you introduce yourself.
Cool. Thank you so much. So happy to be here. My name is Christine Cardoza, and I am one of the co-founders of the Healing Soul School. We are teaching people how to heal themselves, go within inner consciousness. Part of that is calming the nervous system. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I met Shani in a different group about, I'm going to say probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed. I heard her talk about the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine. And it was kind of like a scroll by. And I was like, well, wait, what? What is this? And I listened in, and I just thought that she was magical. And so I reached out to her and I said, hey, let's connect. I've interviewed her on my show. I'm being interviewed here, but I think one of the most special parts of our relationship is the sister circle that you have on a bi-monthly basis, and how my mom and I have been able to be a part of your world and just loving it. You have such an insight of the wild woman and the divine feminine and awakening that within us. And it's just really been such a joy to be a part of your world.
Yeah, likewise. I'm so happy we found each other, we connected, and we've created this magical container together. I just love having you and your mum in circle. You bring such a beautiful energy, both of you. And it's so wonderful to connect here in this space and have you in my container to share your story and to share your wisdom as well about, we're going to tap in particularly tonight about calming the nervous system to stay, to feel safe in your feminine. And this is some, a topic that we feel really strongly about. You know that I speak a lot about awakening the feminine from a place of safety. So those of you that are watching this evening, I can see Jenny, I can see Christine. I'd love to know who else is watching with us tonight. If you can just drop us a little comment and let us know where you're tuning in from, maybe how you know Christine, how you know myself. I think that some of you that are on have met us both. And just drop us and let us know where your nervous system is at today. Like, how do you feel in your nervous system? Just let us know in the comments. I'd love to just tap in and see where your energy is before Christine starts to share with us a little bit of her wisdom around the nervous system and feeling safe in the feminine. So drop us a little comment and let us know where you're tuning in from, maybe how you know us or how you came into this space, into this group, and how your nervous system is feeling tonight. I would love to know.
I have the comments up too, so let me see.
Yeah.
I was gonna suggest that too, just take a deep breath. Hi, Jenny. If you're not sure how to feel what your nervous system is doing, then I invite you to take 3 deep breaths and just feel, are you holding your belly? Are you holding your breath? Are you hurting somewhere? Are you feeling that anxious fight or flight? Maybe you're leaning forward. Can you relax in this moment? A really cool trick is to lean back. I'm attached to the microphone here, so I can't lean back, but like just lean back and take a deep breath, a sigh. Kind of a sigh if someone says to you, I'll make dinner or I'll do the dishes. You just stay there and relax. And you're just like, ah, right into your feminine. Just take the lean back is really important for a couple reasons. You're telling your nervous system that you're safe. And that's really, really important for anyone who has been in fear, any kind of abuse, trauma, um, high controlling kind of a situation, whether it was an ex-religious group like myself, and I see Christine's on the call. We are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'll share that in my story. If you've been in a relationship that was really difficult or someone controlled you, then this is really important because we don't feel safe in our base chakra when we are in that kind of a situation. And it's just simply our vibration that we've come into this world for whatever reason. Our soul came to evolve from that place. So just starting there is the awareness. When you have an awareness of what's going on in your body, it is a superpower. A superpower. You're going to be able to speak differently to people, respond instead of react. It's really, really important.
Hey, Shauna, welcome. Yeah, beautiful. Christine says she's finding lately she wants to climb out of her skin and she feels horribly uncomfortable in her own skin. And Jenny says she's got high levels of anxiety this week and she's been with me since I started this amazing group. Thank you, Jenny. Christine is tuning in from Vancouver and she found you, Christine, via an ex-Jehovah's Witness group. Beautiful. I see a 5th person has joined us, so do come and say hello. Let us know who's watching with us for this wonderful Feminine Divinity School tonight. We've got the wonderful Christine on, who's here to share and drop some of her wisdom in the group as well about calming the nervous system to feel safe around your feminine. And if you've just joined, we asked the question, where are you tuning in from? Where do you know us? And just taking 3 deep breaths, as Christine suggested, to tap into the wisdom of your body right now, just to see where you're at. So Christine, I guess if it's okay with you, we'll just have a bit of a free flow conversation. I'll ask you some questions. You're free to share anything that you feel like sharing around this topic, and maybe share with us a little bit about your story, and we can just vibe off of that. And of course, those of you that are watching with us, feel free to ask questions, chip in, drop in. We want this to be an interactive conversation as always. This is not us sitting here and any teacher worth their salt will know, as I've been teaching for 12 years, that this is not just about us being at the front of the classroom and teaching from the front, but this is an interactive and engaging session where really you are guiding the session with your questions, your curiosity, and what you would really like to gain out of these live conversations. So we will flow with whatever it is that you want to learn and you want to feel into this space. So please get involved, be a part of the conversation, join along with the comments. And come into our schoolyard, come into the playground. If you're from England. So Christine, I'm really curious to know first and foremost, like why did you start the Soul Healing School? Like for you, where did your healing journey start? And why do you particularly relate to the nervous system?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I would say I'll start, just this past year, 2020 was a huge gift and a huge pivot. And I really started to take a look at what do I believe and where is my life headed? I've been a travel agent the last 10 years and I've traveled the world and felt, that life was good and I was able to experience many different things. But I hit a major depression about 3 years ago and I just felt so empty inside, was dating and it felt meaningless. You know, alcohol was becoming more attractive, and I didn't want to go down this road of not being able to get out of something that I was just too far in over my head. And so I knew that, you know, studying mindset and the brain was really important to be able to understand why I was in a depression. I had been, you know, had such a great life and had really great experiences. So how was I in this space of this depression and not wanting to get out of bed? And not that I had, you know, had wanted to kill myself, but you know, just the thoughts of like, what would it be like if I wasn't here? You know, it would be easier. And I thought, no, you know, I raise a little one. This is not good for her. And so I really just went on that deep dive. And the Healing Soul School came from, you know, just this year after studying energy work and some ways that kind of fast tracked my experience and what I was learning to be able to help other people to stop their emotional suffering. That we are not meant to suffer. We are so meant to thrive. And, you know, we are here as souls having a human experience, and we're here to enjoy life to its fullest. And a lot of us end up in these situations of whether it's life, a job, you know, where we live, a relationship, and we feel stuck. And we know that it's not for us, but maybe we don't have the courage or we don't know how to move forward. And so in this year, and really just understanding, you know, that we have the power within us to calmly create, you know, what it is that we want. I would say probably the biggest game changer for me was learning how to meditate properly. I'd heard it before. I did like yoga, but it's not something that I want to do on a daily basis. I like qigong a little better, kind of in a Chinese version of energy exercise. But being able to meditate, what I realized was, you know, I can go within, I can get calm, I can, you know, have this visualization or learn things about my life, where to go next, or answers, or, you know, bring in the intuition. And, you know, through that, after about 6 months, I started to realize that I was holding my breath, and that's anxiety breath. And, you know, from what I've learned as a mindset coach, what's holding us back in our subconscious is from the 0 to 7 year programming, really 0 to 12 years, I feel. And it's in there that whatever you're stuck or whatever you believe about your life is most likely from that time. So even though you might be in a difficult situation now, or you might have some kind of body ailment that's hurting you now, typically it's come from something in your past. There's a pattern, there is, you know, a lower vibration or something that is asking to be healed. And that is our medicine. Where we hurt, me catching my, you know, that I'm holding my breath, that is my medicine. And then I can look at it and say, okay, I need to look at my nervous system. I've been in fight, actually, I've been in freeze, you know, my whole life, having been raised in fear. And so I've been in this freeze mode, and I've just pushed through and figured things out. But if I didn't take some action and really look at my body and where things were, then it would just get progressively worse and could lead to, you know, bigger things.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that part of, you know, where you've come from in your journey. I just want to check with the people watching. Can you guys still see us? Because what I see is a black screen. So I just want to make sure you can still see us. Jenny says yes. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
I personally don't see us on the screen, but I'm glad that you can. I just wanted to check before Christine continued talking that you can actually see us and that we are live, because I see that it's kind of paused.
Yes.
Can you see us?
Yes.
Christine says yes. Okay, beautiful. I just wanted to do a quick check with that. Beautiful. Okay, so for you, Christine, like you said, you know, you mentioned that you are ex-Jehovah's Witness, and for you, that's part of your story. That's a major part of your story and a major part of your conditioning. And this is something that we kind of spoke about as well with the good girl conditioning and the wild woman immersion that I just did, because this good girl conditioning runs so deep, right? And this good girl conditioning is not just of this lifetime. Like we know that we have been inverted and templated and contracted in certain ways, that that this templating continues to run, like the program that's been downloaded into us. It's like we're not computers, but it's as if we've got computer programs plugged into our system that we are now playing out. And all the time that we are ascending, or awakening, but ascension to me really means going in. And each time that we are ascending or going in, okay, good, Aya, I'm glad you can see us. Each time that we are ascending or going in, we are basically updating that program to a newer version of who we get to be. And so when we start to know that, for example, the good girl was a program, and we start to unveil that and release ourselves from the false light of what that gets to be, then we can literally like re-template our blueprint, right? Because we are innocent and we are children of God. We are innocent. We are born innocent. We get corrupted through the programmings and the programs and the templates that get instilled in us, literally, right? Sometimes I like to visualize it as like post-it notes, like in each program, if these are internal programming, but if you were to imagine that you stick a post-it note on, and another post-it note, and another post-it note, another post-it note, post-it, until you're like the Michelin Man and you literally can't move because you are so encased in the programming. And as you start to peel off each of these post-it notes, you start to first of all, it feels uncomfortable. You're like, what is this movement? How can I move my body in this way? How does that feel? And the more that you unpeel it, the lighter you start to feel, because you are literally unlearning that program, right? And then you are updating, to a newer version of who you are. Does that sound like something that, is like resonating with you? And maybe others of you that are watching, let us know if that resonates with you.
Yeah, totally. That programming, like even just looking at how you were raised and I feel we all have some kind of a trauma or some kind of a need that wasn't met, whether it was scarcity of time, scarcity of love, scarcity of money, something, or even later years, it could be too, like a car accident or a relationship that, left you brokenhearted, whatever it was. We all have a story. We all have something that kind of left us in this place of searching or feeling like we're in a hole. And it just simply, that's our opportunity to be able to evolve and to learn, okay, what is this here for? What is it meant to teach me? And really come out of victimhood, because we can get, so often it's easy to land in that victimhood, right? It feels good, it's comfortable, it's what our subconscious knows. That whole good thing, good girl programming of I need to do this in order to be loved by my caregivers is such a trap. We are whole, we are complete, we are loved just as we are for being on the earth. We don't need to do or be anything. Just simply sit in the, the love, the unconditional love that our source, creator, spirit, whatever your comfort word is, just, has for us just for being here. Like you have a 1 in 400,000 chance of being alive for the sperm to get into the egg. And that alone is a miracle.
Maybe even less with all that's going on in the world right now. Let's not go down that road right now. That's a whole other line. So something that I don't feel quite comfortable to share in this group yet, but I will get there because I'm feeling more and more that the truth needs to be unveiled. So I'm curious to know from you, Christine, like growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, and maybe like, it's funny, there's two Christines here that both grew up in that. Jenny, I don't know what your perhaps your cultural or your religious upbringing was. Aya, the same for you, and whoever else is watching with us. June, maybe it's you watching with us, like what your religious upbringing was or your cultural upbringing was. But I'd love to know from you, and maybe a little bit about your story in the Jehovah's Witnesses and how that really affected your programming, and maybe even where it affects you now to feel safe in your feminine, because we're here in the Divine School of Feminine Awakening to really awaken the feminine from a place of safety. And to me, that is the most important thing we can do when it comes to awakening your feminine. Like there are so many teachings out there, and you hear me speak about this all the time. I think this is where you heard me first of all talking about the energies, but like there are so many teachings out there saying to you, like, you need to awaken your feminine, you need to activate your feminine, like let's awaken the feminine, surrender, release, trust, go with the flow. And it's like, okay, well, that's all very well, but if you've never known what that feels like to be safe, right, in that space, how can you fully surrender into that? Because when you do, you're like floating out at sea like a raft without a paddle. And I've said it a million times, and I will keep saying it because this is exactly what happened to me. And I felt so unsafe. In fact, I was scared. I remember it so clearly. I remember in the car with a friend, and I remember saying to her, I was like, I literally can't get my act together. Like, I can't move. I can't do anything. I can't plan. It's like I'd rejected my wounded masculine so much because I thought that was the masculine. I was like, I don't want any of it. No more aggression, no more anger, no more responsibility. I literally rejected it so far, went so far into my feminine, I couldn't pick myself up. And that to me was just as scary. It's like I lost all control and all power over my sovereignty. So
Mhm.
to me, awakening into the feminine safely is important. It's like one of my passions. And that's why I'm curious to know from you, like how your experience in the Jehovah's Witnesses, um, yeah, caused your feminine to feel unsafe, and how you are using your nervous system now to break free from that matrix.
Right. There's so much heavy programming from any religious organization. Honestly, after I left the Jehovah's Witnesses at 13, and I'll come back to that in a moment, I went to a Catholic high school and I was like, oh my gosh, more programming. And then I went to a Baptist church and I felt like that was the real religion. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone should know about this. But it was just simply more herd mentality. I traded one fear dogma for another. If you don't do this, you're going to die and you're going to go to hell, or you won't see your family, or, whatever it was. It was just more fear programming. And that I feel is, the world on a larger scale. But what happens there is when we're in that fear, we have our voice taken away, most likely. There's something that is controlling us, saying that you have to be this way in order to be approved. You can't be just who you are. And that's not what we're meant to be here for. And with religion, it really teaches you that there's happiness outside of you, or you're to look outside to this deity that gives you your worth. And it's like, no, that's, we've just been lied to so much in that arena. And with the Jehovah's Witnesses, because it's a cult like organization where if you do not follow their rules, you're out. You are shunned from the tribe, so to speak. And you are not allowed to be spoken to. So that means your family has to shut down all contact with you. It's almost as if you're dead to them.
Wow.
And they explain it of like kind of like a hard love to bring you back. But just imagine spending a year going to these church meetings where you have to still contribute and participate, but no one is allowed to talk to you. It's like being a leper, or having the red, what was the scarlet letter on you,
Yeah.
where you are just shunned. And it's horrible. Such pain. And that was for me at 13. I just knew from within me that that was not God's love. There's no way that a God would say, you're my child, but I refuse to speak to you and I'm going to cut you off. Like, there's no way that, a God that I knew from within my body, connected to the universe and to nature. And there's no way that that could even be allowed. And my guide just showed up. That's really cool. And so from there, I was able to leave, but I still have family that's inside, that are still there. And so there's so much judgment, so much shunning. We are the pagan side of the family, right? The hooligans, and then they're that side of the family, the ones who, have this religion and so much pain, so much separation. It's horrible. And I was angry for so many years, like majority of my life,
Yeah.
until this year where I was able to start unpacking it. But the body remembers any of that trauma. And
Yeah.
so that is where the nervous system is really important, because if you are feeling something, or all of a sudden you have a new ache, or it could even be emotionally, you just want to start crying, cry. There's something inside of you that's wanting to come out. And as we're shifting into this beautiful feminine energy, feminine and masculine, but we're all being upgraded. And it means letting go of those denser feelings of fear, rejection, guilt, shame. Shame is a big one. Releasing any of that,
Shame
releasing
is so
self-judgment.
huge. Shame is so huge. Like, I just want to share a little story that's kind of connected to what you just said,
Oh,
actually. It's quite incredible, actually. Like in the last few weeks, I think you'll know, since I did my ayahuasca ceremony, that like the connections that I've been creating with people are coming out of nowhere, right? Like they're not coming out of nowhere. We're in like a mycelium network over here, but like the people connecting in with me, it's quite incredible. So I get a message from my third cousin. I don't have any first cousins in the UK. My mom's an only child, but she has cousins. And so her cousins' children, um, she's 22, Amy. She just joined this group. So Amy, if you're here, come and say hi. Amy reached out to me. Amy will tell you herself, like the two of us we haven't really known each other. We have like a 12-year age gap between us. I left for Singapore when I was 25. Amy was still in primary school, I think, then. And so like the 10 years that I lived abroad, we kind of didn't connect. She came to Israel once when I was there, and we met up very briefly. She was on a program, I was on a holiday, so we kind of met up for like a couple of hours. She was allowed to see a family member. I happened to be there. And apart from that, we haven't really connected in. And she reached out to me about 3 days ago, I think it was, and just, yeah, like we just had a beautiful 2.5 hour phone call conversation just before I came on here. And both of us were like, she's like, yeah, I'm healing the family. And I was like, yeah, I'm healing the family. I've been doing it for ages. She's like, yeah, me too. I was like, what? And it's so beautiful because we've never really connected. And I'm just so grateful that, that Amy reached out, and that she reached out, and that we've both been doing this work like separately, but didn't know. And it's like, I feel so honored about that, because I don't have anyone in my family that connects to the kind of work that I'm doing. No one gets it really, and I don't feel really that comfortable to share it with them. So like to have that suddenly come into my space and to connect in with that part of my lineage here on my mum's side of the family. Most of the healing I was doing was based on my dad's side of the family in Israel. Like, this is beautiful. So I just like with that, and we spoke a lot about the shame that the family carries, a lot about the traumas that they went through, a lot about the control that was kind of hidden in our family, the kind of very narrow blinkered views that many of them hold, and how hard we both find that to navigate and work our way around, because we are like expanders. And when you're an expander, maybe drop for me in the comments, guys that are watching with us, if you feel that you are an expander. Like if you are someone that is here on this planet because you feel like you came here to expand, and you're not willing to stay in the same paradigms and the same cycles and the same healing loops for the rest of your life, but you're here to expand in your consciousness, in your healing, and in your growth, because that you came to this planet for a mission. Mm-hmm. And you're here, like you're on the ground, you're like, like the crew, like on the ground, you're here to do the work. Like drop me a comment if that resonates with you, if you feel that you are one of those people, like you came here to this earth at this time, God has planted some kind of mission on your heart and said, yeah, this is why you are here. Like Christine, you're nodding, so I know you definitely agree with that.
Totally.
And like, so I would love to hear from the people watching as well. Like if you feel like this is you, like did you come here at this time, or do you feel like you came here at this time with a mission that was landed in your heart, and maybe that mission is evolving and changing as you evolve and you change, because we never stay the same, and you are an expander. Like just type it for me in the comments if you are an expander. And Christine, I would love to hear like from you then what you feel your mission is, and how that's connected once again to like feeling safe in the feminine now.
Cool.
Because
yeah,
that's how we connected, right? Like
yeah.
Work.
Yeah. I'm just seeing your comments. So Jessica is an expander. Christine, I feel if you're here in this group.
Oh, beautiful. You can see
you're an expander. We'll help you figure out what that is.
I don't see the comments, so thanks for reading those out.
Yeah. Let me see if there's any more. I would say I'm definitely here to be an expander. And I had there's a couple more that are saying, yep.
Oh, beautiful. I'm so glad you can see the comments, because I see some now. I is like, duh. Jessica's like, yes. Hey, Jess, definitely here to expand. Christine says, I don't know what my mission is, desperately trying to figure it out. Christine, you're going to get there. This is the work. Can I just say, we've got 11 people that this post has reached, 1 and 33 comments. We love a bit of angel numbers in this group. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what would you say your like, what did God place on your heart, Christine? The God that you really truly connect.
One of my missions is to raise the little one behind me.
Hello.
Oh,
Your niece.
Let me ask you.
Yes.
So beautiful to meet you.
Are you having a party or something?
Are we having a party? Kind of.
Okay, we'll talk later, not right now, okay? So, live,
It's
live TV, folks.
we love to have another little younger generation with us being a part of the cosmic.
Yes, so true. So my mission here is to bring the people together, to help bring, people who are here to expand, people who are really wanting to create a business and help other people. I'm a business coach. I get downloads of helping people with, not even just what they can do for a business, but kind of like the second and third levels out of how to create something, how to take it to market. I get these amazing downloads. And, that's just one piece of it, but really to help people, teach them how to be their own self-healer. We all have it within us. We are all psychic. It's just calming the nervous system down enough to be able to hear those intuitive hits, or the breadcrumbs, so to speak, so that you know what your next move is, and you don't have to second guess, do I do this, or even do I go here, or do I date this person, or whatever you're wanting an answer for. Your body's going to tell you, but it can't tell you if it's so full of fight or flight junk, because the messages are not going to come through clear. So as far as missions, I feel anyone that's connected to us, especially in a group like this, we are the leaders. We are the leaders of the new feminine era that's coming, and you're here.
Golden age. There's no more new age, people. I want you to get it out of your head that we are not in a new age, okay? The new age is not truth. The new age is another program that has been placed on the feminine to keep us siphoned from our powers. Please stop using the language new age and come into the golden age, okay? The golden age of the priestesses.
Golden age.
I implore you. Yeah, the new age is just another false line, a false timeline, another false.
Did I say new age? I meant new era.
You didn't. You did. You said a new age. But I just wanted to clarify, because new age is like, oh, that's so new age. Oh, how new age are
no,
you?
not that.
Yeah. I will do a whole other live on that when I'm leaning into it and I'm learning about it, and I'm really doing quite a lot of healing around that programming right now for myself. So when I feel like I can resonate and feel very comfortable to share without giving false information, I will. I you know me, I'm full of integrity. I cannot share things that I don't feel is true. And I'm only now, guys, just seeing your comments. So if you don't mind, Christine, I just want to backtrack on some people's comments here, because when I asked questions earlier, I don't know why I didn't see the comments popping up. So when I asked about the religious indoctrination, or the cultures or the religions people were brought up in, Christine says her mother was a disfellowshipped when she was 8, and you were shunned during that time as well. So I think you two probably have a lot of things in common to work through. Yeah. Jenny says man manipulation. Is that through your mother, Jenny? Aya says yes. She expected to be punished by the divine. And she's Jewish and she lives in Israel. Jenny says she's non-religious. Your dad was, my mum wasn't, and so we can choose when we're older. But Jenny says, I had a nervous breakdown 3 years ago, and the mental health nurse said, I'm surprised you've got to this age with your difficulties as a teen. That's reassuring, Jenny. I mean, that's what a weird comment for a mental health nurse to say. Yeah, and when I mentioned about the safety in the feminine, Aya says, yes, that's so true. It's very scary because it's all she's ever known. So yeah, these are really great comments, guys, because it just helps us to understand where you're at as well, and how much you're connecting in with what we're saying. And I think that's it, right? Like we have all been part of this programming. We've all been part of this conditioning. And I think that the more we can connect in, and the more that we can listen to one another and understand that, and that is why I hold the women's circles, is so that we have that space to connect in and share. Because even though we may have all come from different experiences and different upbringings and different cultures and different religions and different countries and different indoctrinations, we still all have that deep rooted programming template that tells us that the feminine is not safe, right? And that is the entire point of what we're doing here, is to really feel like we can be liberated in our femininity, in our wild woman archetype, in our enchantress, in our queen, in our priestess, in our sovereignty, right? And that doesn't mean that we have to reject the masculine, the opposite. Jenny says, man manipulation as in religion, man, humans manipulate it for controlling purposes. Yeah, sure. Like the patriarchal part of the indoctrination of the religion. Yeah, totally hear you there, Jenny. Absolutely. So yeah, tell me how that resonates with you there, Christine. Kind of that, like the fact that even though we're all coming from these different kind of societies. You grew up in Canada. Christine's in Canada. I is in Israel. I'm here in the UK. I mean, I have both Israel and the UK and Singapore in my system. Jenny's in the UK. We all have, Jessica, I'm not sure where you're based. Maybe share with us when you come back. Yeah, I would love to know how that resonates for you or where that fits in with you.
Sure. I would say that wherever we come from, that it is this feeling of being safe and in the feminine and being able to step into that, because we've all had somewhere along the line where we didn't have a need met, or some kind of a trauma or a fear where we weren't safe. It wasn't safe to be seen. And a couple of things that really helped me to put this together, really that I learned this year, was energy cannot be created or destroyed. Okay, so when we pass away, the grid doesn't change. We just end up coming as something different, if that's the next plan for us. And really just learning that we have a soul contract. We come here, we choose to come, or we choose our parents. I chose the Jehovah's Witness religion, to further the evolution of my soul. And it's almost like this amnesia. We come into the world, it's this amnesia, and then we wake up to who we really are.
Yes.
And what we're here for.
Yes.
And so for us to, feel safe to be able to speak our minds, it's healing that feminine wound. It's healing the thing that took our voice away, to get it back, so that we can stand in the purpose of what we're here for. Whatever is the whisper of our heart, we are all a piece of the puzzle. We are all here right now, 2021, to help with this, shift in the world, with people waking up to this inner consciousness and who they really are, and the patriarchal and even, other things of the world crumbling, because that's not what is meant to continue on.
It's crumbling because we are dismantling. Like the systems are dismantling because we are dismantling. Yeah. We are dismantling the programming and the templating. And as we do that, literally they fall, right? It's like we are breaking it apart, like an armor that's been placed on us. And as we break apart that armor, like the light is starting to shine through, and the truth is going to continue to be unveiled. And something that I said at the very beginning of 2020, which I felt very strongly came to me, was that like 2020 to 2021 was a bridge. And at the end of 2020, when I held the winter solstice circle, which was one of the most powerful circles I've ever held. In fact, it was so powerful that Jen went into labor during my meditation. It was such a powerful circle. Yeah, she had a beautiful baby girl about 2 days later called Grace, which is just perfect. And when we went into that winter solstice, and I spoke about the rainbow bridge, I was like, we are crossing a bridge now into the golden age. Are you coming with me over that bridge? That's what I asked. I said, are you coming with me over that bridge? Who's coming with? You can choose to stay there, or you can cross with me over the rainbow bridge and into the golden age of the priestess. No more false light of the new age. We're not talking about new age here. We're talking about the golden age, because gold is the pure light. None of this false white light that keeps getting channeled through this LED like blue light. We don't want that. We want the pure solar golden energy. And when I started to do research about the rainbow, Jenny says I brought all the colors with me. Jenny, you're just like a color specialist. You're like a color energy reader person. This is why you do art. It's beautiful. And I think you were at that winter solstice as well, Jenny, the circle. And when I kind of started to look into the rainbow and the rainbow bridge, and I started to explore like pictures of how the ancients drew our world, we had like a dome across the top of our world, a firmament. we had our world, we had the tree of life, and below the tree of life was a rainbow bridge into heaven. And I was like, wow, okay. So this rainbow bridge just didn't come out of nowhere. Like I downloaded, that's what I was like, we're crossing the rainbow bridge, okay, into the golden age. You might have even remembered me playing that song in the solstice and in the 5-day immersion that I did then. And it was called The Golden Age. That was the song. And I played it, and I felt it like so deeply. And I think that the ancient of the wisdom of the ancients, they were tapped into their feminine essence because they convened with the earth, with Mother Nature, with the skies. And we know the phrase, like, as so without, so within. We know that, like, that is just reflected, right? We know that our lungs look like the branches of a tree. We know that our heart is both masculine and feminine. It literally pumps like across the ventricles and left to right, right to left.
Gives and receives.
Sorry?
The heart gives and receives. So that's really important.
Yeah.
When you're waking up that divine feminine, it's also being able to receive.
Yeah. We literally have, like, the way that we have been designed so intricately. It's so connected to what we see in our nature. Like, there's no coincidence that this is how it was supposed to be. And I really feel like the more that we awaken the feminine, the more that we need to come back to those ancient wisdom codes. And that is why we always say, like, the wisdom is in your body. That's why I practice breath work. That's why I give breath work sessions to people, because you can talk about this for as long as you like, and you can take aha moments, and you can awaken certain things from the conversation, but we know that it's stored in our cellular system, in our body. And like, when we do breathwork sessions, when I use rebirthing breathwork, we're going straight in. It's like a quantum leap into the release of what needs to come through. It's like, because you can't, there's no amount of talking can get there, it's so much deeper than that. And there are many people out there using different, healing modalities to support that quantum leap of extracting and removing the hooks and the bindings and the shackles and the implants that we've been placed inside of us, like all the entities that are inside of us. So it's really, I really truly believe, like, one of the ways to awaken safely is to do the body work, is to do embodiment, because there's no point just like having the thoughts and the visions and the ideas there if we're not embodying it, and those two things are not separated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I like, just back even to the body, is when you're recognizing and you're observing how you're feeling, even through the day, like you could set it 8 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. and just check in. How am I breathing? Am I feeling tight? Am I, in someone else's energy? Am I in my own? Am I angry? Am I feeling joyful? And just checking in is really going to help you to understand where you are, because you can understand, like, you're right, the knowledge of learning, about our intuition, and maybe if someone channels all those things, but our body is keeping a hold of those things that we grew up with that maybe didn't feel so good, or we didn't feel safe. And it's now this time of releasing. And so if I can give, the audience just something to hold on to, was I started to put my hand on my belly and on my chest. And if you do that, you can do that now while you're watching, is just imagine holding yourself like a child, your inner child, and just, a simple phrase like, I am safe.
yeah,
And taking those deep breaths, you're teaching your body that it's safe to be in the feminine. It's safe to be, here. And the breath and just calming, things down. This is how you come back into your body, how you come back into being safe. Because if there's anywhere in your existence, from childhood or even later, where you do not feel safe in your base chakras, that could be finances, again, scarcity there. You didn't feel that you were safe at home. That's another big one. And it could be you had two beautiful parents, but they were just emotionally unavailable to you because they weren't taught how to express their emotions. And so we can only teach our children what we know, right? It's releasing any blame, anything on, someone else or religion or parents, the government, whatever. Just release that and come back into yourself and say, okay, cool. So what can I learn now? How can I feel safe in my body and feel safe in my feminine, to then stand in your power where you can take that back and create whatever it is that you came here to create.
Yes, aho, beautiful. All right, I think we'll start wrapping it up there. I want to share with those of you that are watching, and anyone who comes to watch it on the replay, please hashtag replay, that we're going to continue this conversation in the next upcoming immersion that I'm holding in this group. Some of you have done this immersion before, but I'm doing it slightly differently this time. The immersion is called Awakening Your Divine Feminine Codes. We're going to start on the 22nd of June, the day after the summer solstice. So we are amplifying the power of the solstice. I would invite you to come and sit with me in circle for the solstice so we can really, really set our intentions very intentionally into the golden age template so that we can rise into our priestesshood. And we're going to have a 4-day immersion, 4 days, 4 awakenings, 4 activations. And we are going to be exploring so many parts of your feminine coding. Like, where does the coding within your feminine want to be awoken? Okay, and that's from the 22nd of June to the 26th of June, at just after the summer solstice. And I would very, very, very warmly encourage you to come and join for that, because it's going to be really powerful and a potent container. It's going to take place live in this group. It's totally free. You just need to sign up so that you get all the emails and all the details. So I'll post the link in here afterwards. But I really feel like more and more called to talk about this. And following this immersion, I'm feeling more and more drawn to start talking about awakening your divine masculine codes too, because the two go hand in hand, and we can't have one without the other. So it downloaded to me today that that's what needs to come next. And I'll be building up towards something at the end of the year, very special around the winter solstice. So stay tuned, everybody, because I really want this community to grow. I really want women to feel safe to awaken into their feminine. It's a passion of mine. I do this through the ancestral healing work I do it through my rebirthing breathwork sessions. I do it through my women's circles. Come and hop in my vortex and play with me. Come and hop in and play with Christine and with Jenny, who comes to the circles. It's beautiful. They're potent. They're powerful. I would love to have you there. The next circle is June the 13th. Sunday at 8 p.m. UK, but watch out for emails. I'll post it in this group. And if you know of any women who you feel would really benefit from this kind of safe space in the Divine School of Feminine Awakening, that want an education, but really want it like with truth and integrity, come and invite them into this space. Let's grow this community. Like, I'm honored that in the last sort of few days, I haven't done very much in this group, and it's grown by like 20 new members all of a sudden. And that's so beautiful, because just calling in more people into this vortex to come and play with us is beautiful. Like, I love to connect with you. Like, I'm a connector, so come and connect. Like, people connecting with me, I connect with people. It's part of my superpower as an awoken feminine. Come and hang out, come and play. We have, this divinity school every Wednesday evening at 8:30. Come and hop in, come say hi. Also share with me what more you would like to hear about. Like, it's important to me to know what you would like. So come and share with me what you want to learn more about as well. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to learn more about. I ask you those questions when you enter the group. And one woman messaged me today when she joined. She's like, oh, I wish I could say so much more. And I was like, well, tell me what you want to learn. So I'm always happy to hear from you, to know what it is that you really want to learn in this group, because I can create, can share my wisdom codes around the things that you really want to learn. So let me know, okay? We want to know from you what you desire. Christine, thank you so much for coming in today. Is there any final words you'd like to share?
I would just say, we're still in the full moon energy, and I would, go into a quiet time even before bed and just think about your ancestors and call in. They had special gifts and healing powers, and you have it as well. It was passed down. And just simply sit in, like, what was it like when they would, think of the moon, or they would plant at certain times, and they were really just all about nature and back to the land. That's where we're headed. We're going that direction again, thankfully. And so just simply, call in. What is there? Ask your ancestors to show you, or your spirit team, if you, believe in that, or your guides to show you what is next for you, and just, excitedly wait. You will get the answers.
Thank you so much, Christine. It was
Yeah.
an honor to have you here this evening. Those of you that were watching live, if you're still here, I would love to just hear your takeaway. You're welcome, Christine. Aho, Jenny, you're welcome. I would love to hear any of your awakenings or your ahas. I'm not sure who's still with us now, but it was beautiful to have you here. So thank you so much, everyone. Much, much love.